let's get into this story. So, we started out the show. Well, actually, technically, our first topic was the faculty, but we did start out the beginning of the show with talking about how we have Roman from, Roman, Sydney's brother in Scream 3, is coming back in this film. So now there comes word. It literally just came out a half hour ago while we were doing the live that Matthew Lillard is reprising, I guess, his role as Stu Macher in Scream 7. So now this is the latest story, and it is courtesy of Variety. So literally, I had to go and for some reason, because Robert broke the news. So I was like, let's go to talk about that topic. So please hold as we get into it. So according to Deadline, it says, they said no spoiler alert here. Really? I don't know why y'all revealing all this stuff. So it says Matthew Little, who played Stu Macher in the first 1996 Scream movie, is returning to the franchise for Spyglass Paramount Scream 7. How is that possible? We will see. Does Stu have a twin? Doesn't look like it from Lillard's Instagram post. Last we saw the horror movie obsessed Stu, he was chasing Neve Campbell's Sydney down 29 years ago, attempting to kill her. However, he had the upper hand, she had the upper hand, dropping a TV on his head. Also, you'll remember that Billy and Stu began stabbing each other to make themselves look like the victims just months before Sydney kicked their ass. Now, Scream launched Lillard's career out of the canon, with the actor continuing on to star in Scooby-Doo, She's All That, The Descendants, and even in Five Nights at Freddy's, which Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is supposed to be coming out later this year, I believe. Then it says the actor joins legacy cast members Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox, as well as Scott Foley, Mason Gooding, and Jasmine Savoy Brown, alongside newcomers Isabel May, Celeste O'Connor, Asa Gurman, Michaela Grace, Sam Reckner, Anna Camp, Joe McHale, and most recently added to the franchise, Mark Consuelos, who actually officially made the announcement after everything done leaked. He talked about it on Kelly and Mark, where Kelly could, do you die? Are you the killer? She was being so annoying, but I was laughing. So then franchise creator, as you know, Kevin Williamson is directing, with Guy Busick writing the script. So I'm wondering if all these things coming out about Matthew Lillard, and most recently, what was just announced that Scott Foley is returning, does this mean that they're going with the whole cult angle? Honestly, I really wish they would have kept this under wraps, because now it's going to start up the fandom. Everybody, I'm sure, is on Twitter as we speak. Yay, we're finally getting Stu back. Stu's not dead. Because over the years, when we've been talking about Scream, the main thing everybody's talking about, Stu's coming back. When they going to bring Stu back? It's always been that conversation, and it is grinding my goddamn gears. But at this point, when I talked about earlier in the show, when I was talking about Scott Foley coming back, my main question was, well, at this point, you might as well bring back Stu Macher. You might as well bring back Cotton Weary, and you might as well bring back Dewey Riley. Because if y'all sitting there bringing people back from the dead, then why don't you bring them people back? So yeah, remember in part 3, they said because of Columbine, they had to cut the idea, but they were going to do this whole Ghostface cult type thing where there's a multitude of Ghostface, and the mastermind behind it was allegedly supposed to be Matthew Lillard, Stu Macher, that we thought he was dead. Apparently he wasn't dead. Because remember, he got a TV put on his head, but was he shot in the head? Because it seemed like that would be the only way you can kill them. Kind of like a vampire or a zombie. You got to take it to the head. But he was knocked out with a TV. So we don't know. Maybe all the years we thought he was dead, but then he escapes like a mental hospital, because there is something about a mental patient. But I hate that all this stuff is coming out, because now it's going to have a lot of people speculating what we think this script is. I would have really liked to have gone in with this element of surprise instead of Deadline spilling all this damn tea, because they spilled the one about Scott Foley earlier. Now they're spilling about Matthew Lillard coming back. And so what does this all mean? I don't know. Today's just been one of those weird days that I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? And I don't even know how to wrap my head around this, because it's been a lot. With everything going on in politics, my brain hurt from all the craziness that's going on with that. And then on top of this, with this news, we got a twofer today, where it's Scott Foley was announced earlier today that he was coming back as, wow, we don't know who he's coming back as, but remember, he was killed in Scream 3. And now we have Stu, well, we have Matthew Lillard coming back. In what capacity? I don't know. And I'm wondering if one of the women that's in this series is playing Stu's sister or something or another. So I'm definitely curious to see what is this story entails. What is this script? What are we going to expect? Because it just seems like it's some bonkers idea. Or is he going to come back as a Force ghost? So got a lot of questions. But I think a lot of us have a lot of questions that are just going to have to go unanswered until this movie wraps. And then we get a trailer, and then we can speculate. And then in 2026, we can talk about it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of hearing about Matthew Lillard coming back as Stu Macher, allegedly? Oh, who knows? He could be coming back as something else, but who else could he play but Stu? That's the most iconic role that he's played. And then at this point, like, we already had him as a ghost in the other films. Are we getting Skeet Ulrich signing back on? So I got a lot of questions, as you can see. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.